Yo, what is up, guys? I'm very excited to introduce this new course. This is the Revised Penal Code. And this course is going to be very useful para sa mga criminology and law student o baka naman interested ka lang in particular sa criminal law here in the Philippines. Either way, it's going to be very useful for you as a citizen of this nation. So, let's start. The Revised Penal Code is the primary criminal law of the Philippines. Primary? So meron bang secondary, sir? Yes, meron. Ang tawag natin doon ay special laws. So tandaan nyo, ang nakalagay sa criminal code ay mga kasong kriminal na very luma na. So what do I mean by that? Example, ang pagnanakaw, pagpatay, at panggagahasa ay mga krimen na nangyayari na dati pa. Kaya meron na tayong malinaw na paliwanag at parusa para dun. However, ang krimen ay nag-e-evolve with our society. Noong panahon ng mga Kastila o Espanyol, meron na ba tayong internet noon? Di ba wala pa? Kaya hindi pwede magsampa ng kaso for cyber libel or cyberbullying. You cannot punish a crime if there is no law to punish it. Pero, pwedeng gumawa ng bagong batas ang ating gobyerno. And yun na po yung tinatawag nating special laws. Don't worry, the more we study about the Revised Penal Code, malalaman mong very interconnected po ito sa ating mga special laws. Anyway, to clarify, the Revised Penal Code defines crimes, prescribes penalties, and outlines rules on criminal liability. Kaya when we say penal, it means punishment. Galing po ang penal sa salitang poena in Latin, which means penalty or punishment. Mapapansin mo rin, it's called revised. So ano ba ibig sabihin ng revised? It means binago or in-update. So, ibig ba sabihin nito, meron na tayong penal code bago tayo magkaroon ng revised penal code? Yes! Our revised penal code came directly from the Spanish-era Penal Code of 1870. So, yung lumang Spanish code, minodernize natin, hinaluan natin ng American influence. Hence why the language used in the revised penal code is going to be English, not Spanish. However, meron pa ring Spanish influence ang revised penal code. I'm sure narinig mo na yung terms na reclusion perpetua, temporal, prison mayor, prison correctional, and many other criminal terms are inspired or rooted from the Spanish language. But anyway, the first article of the Revised Penal Code or Article 1 states kung kailan nag-take effect yung batas na to. So kailan nga ba? It took effect on January 1, 1932. And we call it Act number 3815. Act, okay? Hindi po siya Republic Act. Under US colonial rule pa tayo nun, kaya acts tawag natin. Article 3 of the Revised Penal Code. Acts and omissions punishable by law are felonies, otherwise known as delitos. Guys, tatandaan nyo lalo sa mga law student dyan, huwag kayong tatamaring i-memorize yung Latin tsaka yung Spanish terms nila. Tandaan nyo na ngayon pa lang, pag sinabing felonies, this is also known as delitos. And there are two ways to commit felony. According to the law, felonies are committed not only by means of deceit or dolo, but also means of fault or culpa. Now, in the same article, pag sinabing deceit or dolo, there is deceit when the act is performed with deliberate intent. Ibig sabihin, intentional ginawa yung krimen. Pag sinabi namang fault or culpa, there is fault when the wrongful act results from imprudence, negligence, lack of foresight, or lack of skill. So kung ang deceit ay deliberate intent or intentional, ang fault naman ay unintentional. Pero may krimen pa rin kasi may kapababayaan. Halimbawa, nagnakaw ka ng cellphone. Aba, di mo naman pwedeng sabing hindi mo sinasadya magnakaw ng cellphone, di ba? You have deliberate intent. Lalo na't alam na alam mo, common sense, mali ang pagnanakaw. Alam mong illegal yan pero ginawa mo pa rin. So that means meron kang deceit na ginawa. The deliberate and intentional act of committing a crime with full awareness and free will. Eh what if ang bilis mo mag-drive pero wala ka namang intensyon makabangga ng tao? Pero dahil sa bilis mo mag-drive, nakabangga ka. Unlike deceit, fault involves no deliberate intent to harm. Hindi mo naman sinasadya makabangga eh. Pero di ba hindi naman sana mangyayari yun kung binagalan mo yung pagdadrive mo. But the offender fails to observe the standard of care expected of a reasonably prudent person. Sa lahat ng pagkakataon, dapat meron tayong standard of being a prudent person. Pag sinabi nating prudent, ibig sabihin nasa tamang pag-iisip, Halimbawa, ang speed limit natin ay 20, pero umabot ka ng 50 or 80. Tapos wala namang emergency. Nagdadrive ka lang na mabilis kasi trip mo. Pero dahil sa trip mo, may napahamak. Now let me introduce you to this Latin maxim. Nullum crimen nulla poena sine lege, which simply means there is no crime if there is no law to punish it. Halimbawa lang, kung legal pumatay ng tao ngayon at may pinatay ka, tas kinabukasan nagkaroon ng bagong batas na bawal nang pumatay, hindi ka pwedeng sampahan ng kaso sa nangyari kahapon. Kasi nga, there is no crime if there is no law to punish it. Dito na papasok ang duty of the court. Article 5 of the Revised Penal Code states, duty of the court in connection with acts which should be repressed but which are not covered by the law, whenever a court has knowledge of any act which it may deem proper to repress and which is not punishable by law, it shall render the proper decision and shall report to the Chief Executive through the Department of Justice the reasons which induce the court to believe that said act should be made the subject of penal legislation. Ang haba, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig lang sabihin nito, as I stated kanina about sa Revised Penal Code and special laws, may mga kilos talaga na hindi pa natin nare-recognize as something criminal. For example, alam naman natin na mali ang bullying, di ba? Pero kung wala tayong batas laban sa bullying, walang masasampahan ng kaso. So kung merong biktima ng bullying at nagsumbong siya sa korte, the proper decision of the court is to acquit the accused. Ibig sabihin, walang masasampahan ng bullying kasi wala tayong batas laban sa bullying. Halimbawa lang naman yun kasi meron naman na tayong batas dun. Pero kung wala, hindi naman natutulog ang batas. The court has the duty or responsibility to report this to the Chief Executive. Sino ba ang Chief Executive ng Pilipinas? It's gonna be the President of the Republic of the Philippines. So, bakit kaya hindi na lang gumawa ng batas on the spot ang korte? That's because hindi po yung trabaho ng korte. Ang gumagawa po ng batas is the Congress. So in short, isummarize natin ang Article 5. If there is an act na kailangan parusahan pero wala tayong batas to cover that, it is the duty of the court to report to the President or the Chief Executive. Hindi directly hindi pwedeng kausapin ng court yung presidente mismo. They have to report it through the Department of Justice. Department of Justice na bahala kung paano sila makikipag-usap sa President of the Philippines. And then si President na bahala kung paano niya kakausapin ng Congress para gumawa ng penal legislation or gumawa ng bagong batas para sa krimen. Now, what if nagnakaw ka ng tinapay? Gardenia. Actually, nakuha ko yung tanong na to sa novel Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. May nagnakaw ng tinapay at nakulong siya for 19 years. I suggest basahin niyo yung novel na to or panoorin niyo na lang sa Netflix. Gawin nating Philippine settings. Nagnakaw ng gardenia, nakulong, reclusion perpetua. That means 20 to 40 years imprisonment. Do you think valid yun? Let's say may batas na ganun yung parusa. Sa tingin mo ba valid yun? Ang babaw ng mali siya or masamang hangarin. Magnakaw ng tinapay, mababa talaga yung malis na yun. Tapos makukulong ka reclusion perpetua. In the same article, Article 5, it is also the duty of the court in connection in cases of excessive penalties. Pag sinabi nating excessive penalties, ibig sabihin sobra-sobrang parusa. In the same article, yes, mahaba po yung Article 5. However, same lang din naman siya ng konsepto. Pag may batas na ang parusa ay sobrang bigat na hindi naman talaga dapat ganun yung parusa niya dahil kumilos lang siya ng ganun, it is still the duty of the court to report this to the Chief Executive through the Department of Justice. So, same process pa rin tulad kanina. Kakausapin ng Department of Justice ang Presidente ng Pilipinas. Sabihin nila, uy, parang masyado namang mabigat yung parusa na to. However, hanggat wala pa rin tayong batas laban dun, hindi po natin isosuspend ang execution of the sentence. Kung meron tayong batas na nagsasabing reclusion perpetua pag nagnakaw ng tinapay, kailangan pa rin siyang ikulong. However, hindi naman kasi natutulog ang batas. Therefore, they will take into consideration the degree of malice and the injury caused by the offense. Kung hindi masyadong mabigat ang ginawa, hindi kailangan ng mabigat na parusa. Tandaan nyo guys, the law is always evolving. Hindi man perpekto ang ating justice system, let us hope na sa lahat ng pagkakataon, they always try to be effective.